Welcome into episode 2 of Run for the Roses on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I, of course, am Ryan, Real Digital Horseman Kramer, and with me, the Chief Horse Officer, Trainer, and Pimp of SGPN Stables, the man in the desert, Mr. Scott Bowser.
This morning.
I know we're doing a little bit of a different time. We both have some personal schedules stomping on the beautiful game of photo finish. I will be spending the day at an amusement park with my daughter for her birthday. So prayers up for me.
Yeah, I'm looking for new condos. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
So yeah, but prayers up for both of us. If you've ever gone through either of those experiences, you know what we're talking about. Appreciate all the feedback since episode 1 and since the virtual Kentucky Derby. Again, if you're new, Run for the Roses, out of the brainchild of Scott and a little bit myself. And really, it's just going to be a journey, our journey through the game of photo finish. We'll take you with us. We'll do some fun stuff along the way. Plan is in weeks to come to have some free rolls, some sweet betting episodes, some sweats.
We could have called it the Real House Dudes of Photo Finish Live, but
we're not done naming. I think for now it's Run for the Roses for now, but we could always change it. It turns out there's no suits controlling the name. But like I said, we got some fun stuff on the horizon. We're going to be doing this mostly weekly, mostly Fridays, although we'll see for Derby Day. Some talk of us live streaming the Derby potentially. And today, week 2 of season 28 is almost complete. So, quick reminder to get your free roll qualies registered. Don't miss on that. Week 2 is here. Always a fun to get those 3-year-old pluses into some free roll action. We'll recap our week that was, although not super. Week 2 is never that eventful. It's always feels like more disappointment than excitement.
No, we do have some fun stuff kind of brewing that I'm excited about. So
you always have a couple, right? It's the filter. You filter out the bad horses. You start focusing on the good horses. You wish there were more good horses, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, we'll recap the marketplace. There were some mega deals that went down this week. We'll take a look inside the SGPN Bordello barn and give you a peek at our meat market, hopefully fully clothed. And we're going to give away a horse at the end of the show, or at least we're going to tell you how you can win a horse at the end of the show. And why don't we start there? Why don't I pull up that beautiful horse? Let me see. Is that on the screen?
Let's get him out there.
Shout out to Bryce and the team over at Third Time. Very generous in their support for this show, starting with a horse to give away.
Full of one time at band camp.
So it's a left turf horse. These are the brainchild of the team over there. They can breed them, they just can't race them. So a bit of an unknown box, and I love the name as someone who grew up with the comedies of the 90s and aughts. This is paying homage to arguably one of the best comedies of our childhood. Bowser, where do you stand on that?
I'm not a fan of it. It's one of those ones where it's like the guy has to make a bet with his friends so he could bang Tara Reid. That seems so unlikely. I don't know. I have my thoughts on it.
You can pick it apart as a movie or a comedy, but you can't deny it was iconic.
But I'm a couple years older than you, so the iconic comedies of my youth are more, Billy Madison, Tommy Boy, Clerks, stuff like that.
Oh, those are all. I'm in the same boat as you. I'm just saying this. You can't avoid this one. As it made having.
It had Shannon Elizabeth's nice can, so you can never go wrong there.
It was like classic, like that style of comedy. You had some boobs, you had some fornicating with food, and I mean, again, you made having sex with an apple pie, literally like worldwide known. So shout out to America. What was the name of that movie? Was it American Pie? Okay. I was going to say that almost, I was like, that almost sounds incorrect, but anyway, we will talk about how you can win this horse at the end of the show.
And it's a left turf male S plus. Like, dude, I think this thing can compete right away in 2 weeks when it's eligible to start running. It's got a great bloodline when you look at it. And I think it could possibly compete at some distance, just looking at the dad, and the mom's got some decent stamina too. So left turf soft, I would say, especially in the between left dirt and left turf from what we do, what I know about right turn stuff with talking to everybody else like Sours, it's like left turf is probably your best entry point right now in the game, if we're quite being honest. If you're looking for like some little better EV, maybe like so. Yeah, this would be a good thing to be able to stable around whoever wins it.
I mean, I would like to win this, but unfortunately, we are not eligible.
No, we are not eligible to win
for the prize. Well, we've excluded ourselves to make it fair. That's
I've recused
the reality.
I've recused myself from this conclave.
Yes, exactly. Shout out to the American Pope. All right, so
is this, by the way, is this the first show on the network hosted by two Italians?
Oh, that's a good question. We know the Italians have been slandered a lot in recent history.
I'm just trying to give our people a little better PR here.
I'll have to do a deep dive. I do believe this is the first fully Guinea hosting panel at the I can say that because I am Italian. Part Sicilian too. I'm real Italian.
Yeah, no, that's my grandma's Sicilian. Yeah, so
we call it gravy, not sauce. All right, so let's get started. I'll pop us out back wide. But so as far as the week that was, anything? I mean, I can pretty quickly get through a recap here because in my mind, has not been the best start to the season on the track from a racing perspective. But if I'm getting excited about, if I'm looking to be excited,
I think I know what you're going to say too.
Well. I mean, honestly, like there is an element of like I'm actually not that excited this season. I don't want to lie to the audience, but we have a couple horses. We have an S- named Consigliere who has dropped multiple 80s at this point. An LDF 7-star. I think the fleet figure's sitting on 80 as we speak, getting good morning line odds. So excited to kind of watch the 2-year-old and then 3-year-old season for the S- there. But we've also had some peaks. We have an S+. He's ready to gig. Showed us a little bit. Has me excited about the future. We haven't had a ton of longer runners at the S+ level yet. Mostly been sprinters. So that's been fun for me. And then the horse that won the SGPN Classic is another one I would throw out. Continuing to run strong, pick 3, not winning a ton, but getting quality points. Will be running in a free roll on Sunday. But yeah, I would say for the most part, I've been disappointed in some of the breeds that I'm looking forward to that haven't shown up yet. They're just benched now for the season. I'm going to wait for them to age up to 3 because I think that's if I was going to have like a quick learning lesson, like the idea that a horse isn't going to be good at 2 is much more likely that it isn't, in my opinion. And so I've gotten a little bit better about like mentally marking breeds and being like, I want to see what this looks like at 3. But
well, I've kind of always felt like that the horses that really pop at 2 might have that cliff coming a lot sooner than, like
I'd also say that just in general, the idea of like shutting a horse and the third time is attempting to push the opposite, and they've been doing a great job introducing more series. Like I really like the unrestricted non-winners of 1 redemption series that's going on right now. It's kind of like a way to graduate from the maidens without winning a maiden. But I think in general, I'm still of the position that I'd rather shut a horse down too early and be wrong once in a while than run it too long and just leak EV. So that's kind of been where we're at. So for right now, this part of the season, it's really about like, okay, these are the horses that we've shut down that I have hope for. These are the ones we shut down I don't have hope for. And then this is the crop that's still running.
Yeah. And I mean, Consigliere throwing those fleet figures down in the 80s this is absurd. And like, just from
pull that horse up.
Well, from the breeding perspective, this has pretty much been a lot of done in-house now, where it's like one of these purebred Gen 2s we've done. And it's kind of avoided a lot of the key bloodlines. That's kind of what really makes me excited about it. Is this is a female whose breeding future really is wide open as long as we avoid like Rose of Zion and those immediate bloodlines like Lamasi there. Oh, and Shawnee Bear, but like this is really a interesting horse, I think. You know, the mom is Shine Box. Of course, that's from SGPN Stables and Lock Dog and Tease. Like, come on.
Yeah, and this is also to point out that these are part of our kind of we need to come up with an official name for this, but our bracket purebred breeding experiments here. This is would you say this is our best purebred Gen 2 at this point?
Yeah, I mean, because like Lock Dog Tease, when you really look at the subgrades there, he's kind of closer to an S minus maybe than an S, but he's got that S plus heart, and that's kind of probably pushing his overall grade up there. But yeah, I mean, this is a kind of I have a feeling this horse has some kind of weird outlier, but there's also something kind of holding it back, and that's why hence the overall grade. Like, if you want my honest opinion on what's going on under the hood there, but like, yeah, I mean, this is exactly kind of what we're going for, is building up these, like, because this has so many options to breed with, even at the higher level. So if we want to just find the best S plus on our stable and breed with it, chances are we got some great matches in there already, you know.
And I haven't headed over to Gap Data to actually check, but I have to imagine he's putting down, or she's putting down, some of the top figures in the game at the S minus level.
I mean, she's an 80 overall as an S minus. That's insane. I've never,
but even forget the overall. Just seeing an 83. Yeah. I mean, to your point, there's probably some temper issues here, but you know, you throw out the yielding, you throw out the longer distance, which are both 67s. You have an 83, a 75, and an 82. This horse is cooking.
Yeah, and
really excited. To your point on the heart comment, excited to see how this does once we. I mean, it's in the. It will be almost certainly qualified for the 6 furlong.
Yeah.
Series at the end, so it'll be interesting to see how it does there. And to your point on the aging, always a little concerning when a horse pops too early. We call it the curse of the first race win.
Yeah.
But yeah, this would be the one that I would spotlight the most. Is there anything that you want to throw out from the past week of breeding that comes to your mind?
Well, yeah, like I was I had a couple quick little bullet points. As I was really excited that we got Lawn Boy. We wanted to get him last season. We had a deposit showing up, and he sold out before the Derby hit the wallet. And I mean, we still got a good, but Turning Stone and Lawn Boy was a breed I wanted to get done for our stable, and I'm glad we were able to do that. And then also, just looking at the outside breeding market, you know, not having complete tunnel vision on our stuff. Eternal Glory is an LDF horse in there, and I'm always going to try and highlight this one that stands out to me on the market. And I'll even highlight right turn stuff here, even though we're mostly a left turn stable. But Eternal Glory is a left dirt firm, and sold out. Was one out of the highest rated SS minus horses in the stud barn. I saw him. He was 32,000 Derby. That's $400 a pop. Sold out 18 covers. So, dude, yeah, that owner made a clean 7,200 of breeding this season off him. So
it's still the clearest way to profit in the game. And I think it's why YSM retired Kingman halfway through the 3-year-old season without running the Derby, because those breed covers, especially when you're on the tip of the spear, you're not going to make that up on the track, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you just look at it like this, what does the Derby winner get? Like
$4,200, I believe.
$4,200. Yeah. So I mean, you're almost doubling what the Derby winner got with a stud like this that sells out. So that's pretty insane.
Well, and that's the calculation you got to do, really. That's like, when do I retire this thing? When do I think it's going to start? I mean, now, with that kind of thing,
we would 100% go for the Derby, because we're also degenerates that would want to gamble on it. In the Derby.
I think you're right. We would want to run the Derby, and then like we would potentially give up a season of breeding. Well, now the game has saved us from ourselves. You cannot retire until year 4. So like the 2-year-olds this season cannot retire until they're 4. So we won't have that. We're gonna have a lot more benched horses. Hopefully a lot more series for the lower end horse, that whether it's claimers or some of these other like non-winners of one type series out there. Can't wait to see what the game comes up with. But yeah, I think we won't have that decision to make, but I can't wait to have a horse to force us to make a tough decision.
Yeah, no, because that's a tough one, and I feel like you should always just run it out for the Derby when you can, because having a Derby winner, I don't. To me, the prestige of that goes a long way, and you should be able to put it like almost a Derby tax on the stud fees from there. I mean,
well, of course, once you have the Derby winner, and I think one of the things the game can really do, like cosmetically, understand that it's not a key feature, but having badges like kind of more prominently displayed when it's a Derby winning horse or a Derby winning bloodline, like I think that's something that's coming in the game. But yeah, to me, that obviously that's valuable, right? Because once you have Derby winning bloodline in your stable, you're going to pass that blood on to a lot of your
I always
horses.
kind of thought too, yeah, like old school NCAA football, like your stable, like remember how like if you're doing a dynasty mode, your guy wins the Heisman, you get the little trophy for your little trophy room in the game. It would be cool to have that for winning majors and all kinds of stuff within the game.
We've heard it from the team, but it's definitely something on their radar. It's just, obviously OTB is more
Yeah,
important.
the
Obviously,
OTB, there's so much more pressing stuff, but that's the kind of stuff that could be a cool feature, just a little, because like I like collecting stuff, and so
I also think it makes it easier to then make it easier for someone to promote their horse also.
Yeah.
And that's really like having the tools to promote your horse with cool graphics, etc. Part of it is marketing. We've seen this from some of the big stables. Like marketing is part of the reason their blood is spread out through the game. Think of a horse like Prime Time. It's everywhere, and I think a lot of that has to do with the way that the commish has marketed the stable.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and there's some great studs to that point too. There's on the other flip side, there's some great studs I feel in the game that are much underutilized because the owners aren't marketing them. They might not be as high up on the leaderboard, so people aren't paying attention to them. And some great,
Which is it's a good and a bad thing, right? It's like on one hand that means there's tons of edge to have. On the other, it's like, well, it'd be great if we could somehow make that a little bit more known to people that like this is also a great horse to breed with. All right. Anything else from the breeding side of things? I know you've been furiously sexing our horses up. I know I saw in the breeding bonanza rankings we were in the top 30 on Left Dirt. So shout out to us.
And fired off a bunch of stuff since then. So I think we moved up. Like I was trying to do the math, but I also know some of the stuff we fired was Left Turf in there. But I want to say that we're probably. I think we might be in the top 15 now for the season on Left.
Nice. I mean, I'm sure I can't imagine we're gonna like there's such a gap between the big dogs and everyone else. Like, but just even being in like tier 3 makes me feel good about where we're at.
Oh yeah.
Well, at least we're firing at good volume. Hopefully we're doing the right strategy as well.
Yeah.
All right. So good stuff. And again, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/PFL if you want to get involved. That will preload our promo code SGPN. If you want to go check out the game, fire up a stable, like Bowser has said, like I've said, like many others in the game, join, hop into the Discord, PFL, tons of people willing to help. Like I said, we're willing to help. DM us on X, wherever. And and if you sign up through us, you get access to the SGPN Turf Club. And again, we're not going to tell you what the Turf Club gives you. Yeah. But we are going to tell you it's going to be worth your while.
First rule of Turf Club: we don't tell you about Turf Club until you're in the Turf Club.
And so right now we're taking early applications, and so anyone that signs up with us, breeds with us, buys a horse from us, you're going to get put on that list. In the future, it might only be people that sign up through us. So we'll see.
I put a lot of really cheap horses for sale. And third time I put some of them in so cheap. Third time bought a bunch up and put them to pasture, but there's a lot of stuff in there for like 75 cents and $1 that's actually workable and decent.
You lost your audio, Bowser. Anyway, well, Bowser fixes his audio. Or maybe I lost my audio. Always possible. I should check my own connection. Let's see. No, I'm good. All right. So while Bowser looks to fix that, I will click along here because we have some. Well, still don't have you, Bowser. If you need to leave and come back, just pop out. So while he's doing that, I'll always exciting when we have a crazy ass sales go on, and in the past couple weeks Let me show this one instead. In the past couple we've seen a couple nice four-figure. Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
We like I was saying, we've had a couple nice four-figure sales of horses. I'll start with the smaller one first. A little Tombstone Stables horse here that unbelievably 1750. I guess that these are like, this is like a medium big deal at this point. We're still seeing some deals nearer to 5K USD, but my goodness, I can't wait for us to sell our first $1,000 horse.
Oh
Scott,
yeah, I mean
1750 for 140K Derby. The buyer Casa de Nova. I like the best thing about buying a big time horse is it puts you on the map. And then of course buying from Tombstone, always a good thing. I know he's got some keen pricing algorithms, so it's a colt. So you're gambling on this being something you can stud. Right turf firm, not an area that we have a ton of experience, although we did once have a right turf horse named Clarted. Shout out to Clarted.
Yeah, the old claimer.
The old claimer. Anything you want to add here? SS minus is going to be on the track in a couple weeks.
No, I do
pull up
like
the blood.
I do like the idea of going like right turf firm. From what I know, is pretty competitive, but I do like the idea is of like, yeah, come in strong with an SS minus. You know, if you want to make a splash, and yeah, it's like we were talking about, man, you get the right stud. It's got decent preference stars, so that goes a long way over there. And yeah, if this, like, here's the thing: is this thing could not have a good really that great of a racing career, but could have a reveal good enough to still make money. And that's the gamble there, really.
When you're on the tip, yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it helps to race good, but it also helps to have just the subgrades that people are going to be willing to pay for. So, congratulations to Casa de Nova. Not super familiar with them. 1,450 races, 1.5 mil Derby in career earnings. Looks like this was their first. Oh, congratulations! Bought themselves into the SS minus market. As a fellow stable of one SS minus, love to see it. I dig the silks too. I like this flaming
those are
horse.
Sweet ass silks, man.
All right, big sale number 2.
This is the big one.
300K Derby, which is good for 3750 USD. Buyer is at PKR Crypto, and the seller is Barista Barn. This is a left dirt firm 7.5 star SS minus colt, and I will pull it up on the screen. This one's a little bit more in our area.
Yeah, left dirt firm, 7.5 stars. I mean, dude, a 7.5 star SS minus right now is gonna sell in the stud barn no matter what, pretty much.
And so this is the buyer is Durney Park. That's the name of the
See Bryce in the chat. What up, Bryce?
What's up, Bryce? Yeah, so it's Durney Park. I probably mispronounced that. When I see these I'm not showing the right thing. When I show these stables, sometimes I've already created a pronunciation in my head, and then I hear someone else say it, and it's like, okay, I've been saying that wrong the entire time. Full of freaky money. And like I said, goes right into one of the big dog stables here. 56 mil in career earnings.
Yeah, no joke.
The rich getting
close
richer.
To 5 mil though.
I know. We're getting there. We're not nothing, but we're not. Again, the gap between the very top and everyone else is pretty wild. I mean, this is going to mean a little bit more to us because we know the bloodlines over here. We know Richer.
Petrichor, yeah.
Yeah, see, exactly. I say everything wrong. We've done some breeding there. Morning Star, another one that we've come across from Yellowstone. Of course, Final Boss from YSM. I mean, just so many lines here. But again, this one, when I looked at the bloodlines here, I got to be honest, Bowser, I was a little surprised that there isn't more. And I didn't go back further, but I was a little surprised to see what I saw here. So 300K, absolutely electric.
Well, and what's crazy too is like just look at the great grandparents. Look how many look at 600,000, 193,000, 300,000. Like I mean, just like 925,000. It's just 6-figure like winners throughout the great grandparents lines. I mean,
The dad did not have good track performance, but the subgrades are undeniable there. This is already probably pretty close to an S minus. And then Freaky Money also, not the most impressive subgrades, but probably, good enough to get this one over the hump. And the star is kind of icing on the cake.
Yeah, I mean, the mom side with does have Final Boss in there, but the way they got to it is pretty interesting, really, when you look at it. Like,
I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff where it's like you upgrade the horse overall, and then you try to get the stars in there. I mean, you
yep.
see it here, right? We smashed in not a lot. Well, I mean, we got a nice uproll here, but we smashed in some extra stars to kind of build this guy back up here, and then this
Yeah,
line.
and I mean, down at the bottom there with the House of Money there. So it's like they basically got the right dirt firm blood, some of that more elite blood from that side of because we know right turn horses at the overall top are maybe a little stronger than the left side. So if you can get that blood in there a couple generations later, you can really get that preference back the other way.
Let it simmer.
Yeah, you got to kind of let it marinate.
And that actually brings up, I know we haven't talked a ton about this, but like this is where I would say send us whether it's comments or messages or DMs, whether it's you want us to take a look at a horse you've bought, a breed you've done, or anything like that. Like we're happy to do a little American Idol style judging of your stuff in the game. We'll get your stable up on the screen. We'll get your horse up on the screen, and then we'll either say nice things or we won't. That's the risk you take, but definitely encourage people to reach out. All in good fun, of course. All right, moving along. As expected,
a couple live breeds to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, as expected, Bowser. We're going way longer than we expected. So let's get to the live breeding. We were
let's just do the fire of the top 3 here then. So
okay. We were really dying to get our get a proper name for this segment for the SGPN breed barn. And we came to the conclusion that right now again, titles can change at any time, but we're going with the Bordello Barn. We're going to head in there. Again, this is the kind of place you got to pay at the front door before you come in, cash only. And we can eye up some of the beautiful ladies, the mares of SGPN.
Yeah, all the mares come trotting out and they prance for you, and you pick the one you want and go back.
It's like if you've watched Game of Thrones, I think I picture it something like that. A ye old brothel.
I was thinking more Boardwalk Empire. That's funny.
All right, that's a little bit more modern.
HBO.
All right, so first up we got By Felicia
and Samurai. So Samurai is the stud that we bought a couple seasons ago. It's a champion. Shout out to Best Value for hooking us up with that one.
Anything you want to mention about By Felicia?
Well, By Felicia, it comes from Debo, and so if you've seen the Friday movies, that's the running theme through that bloodline here so far. But no, like Debo, like everybody talks about Morning Wood and Rose of Zion, and they should. Those are elite studs, but Debo's a damn good stud from the original Generation Zeros that has no 1 of 1, which is like the certain PFPs there and that they come from. So I mean, this is a really interesting breeding piece to really kind of get things going a couple generations in advance, I feel.
Again, this is part of our we'll call it our bracketology. We got to come up with a bracketology name now that I think about it.
Yeah, no. I feel like we should get that. Who's that guy that only works on like Kentucky Derby Day and like elections where he does all the maps and the odds?
The guy with the sleeves.
Karnacki. Dude, he's clearly needs work when it's not the Kentucky Derby, the Triple Crown races or election day. He works like 8 days every like 8 years or whatever. It's ridiculous.
Rolls those sleeves up. So that, and then Samurai, of course, who is in our barn right now. There are breeds available. So
yeah.
Definitely one of the top gen ones in the game.
See, yeah, go back to Samurai's bloodline though. For people that don't know about the 1 of 1s, that's what I'm talking about. Like, so see how it says Rarity 1 on Scott Street's, the David Bowie Ziggy Dad, and then on the Scuba Dad on G Spot, it's got the Rarity 1. So you want to like those are usually the stronger horses from originally earlier in the game. So you kind of want to be strategic with putting that blood into your horses.
And it probably I mean, honestly, there's elements like you can enter the game now and this not matter at all. We kind of made a bet at some point where we wanted to build our own fresh lines from the beginning, and that's what a lot of this is. Like,
Yeah.
are these lines that we're building date all the way back to the originators, the gods of the game? All right, so do we want to show a breed report?
I mean, what did we start racing? Like season 10?
9 or 10, yeah.
9 or 10. So yeah, like I mean, when you think about it overall, we're behind a lot of people. So this is us like we're still pushing for our top horses to hit the SS minus and all that, like everybody else. But we're also kind of building this on the side.
Well, because at the end of the day, once we get to the top grades, everyone will have top horses, and then you want to
we'll have our own path that we've kind of forged to set us ourselves up with the top. So
could be horribly wrong as well. All right, so do you want? Should we take
very wrong?
So this is the breeding.
I will say this, dude. We both noticed this, like consigliere that we talked about earlier as an example. These purebred Gen 2s seem to have a higher variance sometimes, where we get these crazy outlier traits. Fiesta Rancho is another one, where he was an S- horse with like SS- stamina, and it was all just kind of like a random leveling up.
Measuring because in some cases, the more saturated or deeper you get into a bloodline, the less variance you see. But yeah, to your point, it seems as though the further we get along this experiment, the more variance we're introducing. So this is what the general breed screen looks like. Shout out to the game. You can no longer inbreed. It's very hard to, at least. And then, we are in the exec club. Hit us up if you want to know more about that, but it's based on how many PFPs we have. But you can purchase a breed report. We've already purchased ours in this case for this pair. And to the idea of variance and what that means, that's where these breed reports come in. And, 1,000 simulations, you have the min and max, and then you have some level of, one standard deviation within the mean or something like that to show you the expected outcome. But Bowser going to explain more, but basically we're often looking for a wider range because wider range means higher ceiling.
Yeah, I don't really even look at the bottom, like the floor, but and we hit stuff with floor traits sometimes. It's like, gosh darn it. But I'm just always looking at what's the possibilities here. And like sometimes you'll see on these where it's like the most random combos will have something that looks like it'll produce like a triple S trait or something. You're like, whoa, that's like in the range of outcomes on it. Like it's kind of wild. So I'm always looking to create some sort of outlier, especially in these like lower level stuff, because as long as I have a big outlier I can build on at the lower level, then I can find stuff at the higher levels to breed it into.
So this is one of our just wanted to highlight one of our LDF Gen 1 on Gen 1 breeds here. Moving along to the other side of the fence, we have
did you fire that?
Oh, are we? Yeah, we're gonna fire.
Yeah, we're gonna fire that.
Let's go.
Fire so live, baby.
We will also. Is there also at the bottom? They do have a really nice visualization where you can kind of go back through the family tree.
Yeah,
and see performance and things like that. I have a feeling this is an area that will be enhanced as the game matures.
And breeding reports are cheaper now. They were a lot more before. They were like, if you didn't have the exec club, they were like $50 a pop, and now they're like,
what are they now? $20?
20, or I think 16 even.
I think it's 1,600. My advice would be that if you are volume breeding, figure out a way to get into the exec club. If you're just breeding a couple breeds a season, especially if you're spending top dollar for them, it's probably worth it for you to do a little bit more work. And the breed reports just help kind of, like Bowser's saying, identify some of these underlying characteristics that might pop. And then confirm we're good to breed.
Yep.
All right. It has been.
Hi, Felicia is pregnant because she's she is bi. Get it?
That's how quick it happens at the Bordello barn.
Already knocked up at the Bordello barn.
when you let a member of the meat market enter, aka a
You
dog like
combine the meat
Samurai.
market with the Bordello barn. It's gonna be carnage up in here. This is the horniest episode we'll do each season, most likely.
Week 2, yeah. You know what I was thinking? We need to get some like sexy Barry Manilow
So
playing in
this
the
one,
background.
we're going more on the LDS side. This stuffed crab cake flow is like kind of a low star, half star soft mare we had, Gen Zero. And then Edgar Allan Pony is also on the soft end. And so I thought this would be interesting to keep going LDS with Native Monk, who's on a loan for us right now from Best Value Stables. Shout out to our colleagues over there. But what I love about this guy is he's got this outlier heart, right? I mean, just crazy heart, but with also some good stamina and finish. Like, I feel like this is kind of how in the early stages of a generation, like 3 generations from now, this is where we start a Kentucky Derby line, I feel, in a lot of ways. And so he powers up her start, but she powers up that speed, which I find awesome. And then they kind of level each other with the temper. Maybe we're not so concerned with that in the point of the game. And then he's got the stars. So yeah, I'm hoping we get something out of this one. I think this one could be really interesting.
And in general, we've seen the combination of specifically the combination of finish and heart really be effective when you're racing at the top end. It's almost required.
I gotta to Orange Chicken. I didn't know these were lesbian frames. I always thought these were more like Morty Seinfeld at
your
Del
glasses
Boca Vista pays for. Yeah.
I think you're somewhere between like the L Word and Junior Soprano.
Okay, yeah. See,
yeah, you know what I mean. I think there's some, it's a wide range, but you're as a true character actor, Bowser. I think.
Yeah, no, I
You're
see.
the
I was
man of
going
the
more for
desert.
Morty Seinfeld, but because
The glasses should be self-explanatory.
Yeah, the condo I'm going to look at later. It's basically Del Boca Vista Phase 4. I'm into it, guys. I'm ready for my retirement already. I'm gonna be 50 in a couple of years. So
look at this breed report. Something that stands out compared to the Samurai one, a little bit less overall variance, but my goodness.
Yeah,
you see what the heart can end up doing. And even just seeing the difference in the heart ceiling compared to the finish and stamina, knowing that they were only 1 grade apart. Pretty interesting here. But yeah, that like just for the idea of what this ceiling horse could be coming from an S- and an S.
Well, also both these parents, it's LDS backgrounds, right? But look at on the star potential with how it could possibly be a half-star firm in the range of outcomes, which is wild.
And we've learned from our experience, this is because of, so like in this case, it's actually quite interesting. Let me bring back up if we go back and look at the bloodlines, we see half soft and 1.5 soft on the mom side for stuffed crab cake. And then on the dad side with Native Monk, we see, so you're wondering, like, well, this is interesting. Like, what in the game? Like, this makes me think, well, what in the game is allowing this firm leak?
Yeah, there's this firm trait that possibly could be hidden in the DNA somewhere there, which I just think is really interesting. That was one of the things that really stood out to me on this report when I first ran.
Well, it's also a great call out because it's why looking at the breed reports are interesting. Again, now, my understanding is that could just be one simulation out of 1,000. And so could be an extreme outlier. Something that Mike Sauer said to us in the Win studio when we were doing the virtual Kentucky Derby broadcast was, yeah, but what about 10,000 simulations? And I immediately had this thought of like, oh man, you're so right. Like the outliers are not necessary. Like it's the data between the curve.
And then you even go from there. Like, what about 1 in 100,000?
Well, that's what I mean. So like the data inside the curve, inside the 80% will be about the same. It's those outliers that will potentially be different. So I like the open-mindedness of it. And yeah, just kind of interesting to see how we can get out of all soft blood. We can still end up with a firm situation here. That's certainly interesting just from the genetic standpoint in the game. All right.
Well, it makes me think too, since we know that there was no left turf firm horses originally in the Gen Zero crop, only LTSs. What if we take our lower LTS star bloodlines, start merging those together, and maybe we accidentally get an LTF that way?
Yes. So, all right, we are officially bred.
All right.
One more.
And
this is with one of our newest members of the SGPN meat market.
Yeah, I'm
AKA
pumped for this one, dude. I gotta
Black
be
Jam,
honest.
who
Yeah,
we
Black
picked up.
Jam.
Yeah, we picked
That
up an
was a claimer.
acclaimer, and it's looking like one of the like from subgrade perspective, one of our strongest studs at this.
Yeah, well, if we throw caution to the wind when we're chasing major championships, when we just say, well, fuck, temper doesn't need to show up when you're in the big boy, right? You just need a good roll that day. So him being loaded up from heart speed, start through heart, basically, kind of thing, is pretty nice. Like, I mean, I think this horse definitely projects more as a sprinter that we'll get out of it, but man, we could get something here. If we get something with the crazy speed finish and heart up roll, that could, and the mom's temper up rolls a little just for more consistency, this could be a good horse.
And if we want to talk winning gene, or a subgrade that's not shown here about how the horse performs, I mean, this is one of those horses that
because I mean, this was a top 3 horse in the Twin Spires Gallop right here. I mean, in -110. So I mean, also the condo I'm going to look at after we record has Twin Spires by the pool deck. I think it's a sign, dude.
It could be a sign. Yeah, I mean, you can see by this horse's track record, it was just a lot of very, very competitive running. And like I was going to say, it's fun to run these types of horses because they just compete. And it's not always like, it's not heart in this case, right? This is not a horse that has a
-110 is a Samurai Daughter. Just heads up, if you want to get this blood in your stable, we got it in there.
Yeah, and so yeah, talking about that as well. I mean, there's also some nice pieces: Shawnee Bear, General Duke on the other side, Jimmy Squarefoot. But you know, just to kind of highlight this winning aspect of -110, that we've seen a couple of the kids at this point start to expose some of this winning. Pick 3, who won the SGPN Classic, is probably the best example of it so far.
Yeah,
and
this was a break. I mean, 15 podiums in 24 races has done all right. Took down that SGPN Classic for us, so that was fun, you know.
Anyway, so and then Black Jam, like we said, it's a claimer. But part of the reason I claimed it is I thought the bloodlines were something to work with, and that maybe the horse hadn't been run.
I mean, having Zoom Zephyr in there from the beginning, because that's one of those ones that basically was a 0 preference star, but has crazy up. It was a Gen 0 with just these S pluses that were kind of that. And what was it? Tony Rigatoni was the other one.
Yeah, and then so what you have here is you have a Morningwood breed with one of the Lucy lines. In fact, the Lucy Juice line. You then have Max Verstappen from Right Dirt on the mom side, along with Voltaire, who we've seen.
Yeah, that's our gal's father, one of our early better horses.
So anyway, the bloodline was interesting. So as far as on track, not much to show for, but the morning line odds, again, if you're scouting claimers, morning line odds, at least from our perspective, they tend to lead to subgrade definition. Maybe not the ingredients in the right place, but and in this case, the subgrades came out pretty good. And so, yeah, anything else you want to add about this breed? I can pull up the report.
No, let's check out the report because yeah, you see where we really can hit some outlier stuff here with and you see that finish, it's kind of boxed in there, but that's not the worst thing to be kind of boxed in that S+, S- range.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, we're not looking to breed horses where every trait looks like that. And this is even, I would argue, this is maybe not the most variance we've seen in breed reports. But
no, not by
to your point, like if it's only a trait or two that has that smaller potential, I think that's okay. And especially when it's like this, where it's like, okay, so we're just gonna get a horse with S+ or SS- finish. That's fine. We can build around that.
Yeah, that's not going to be a problem, especially if we hit one of these crazy SS outliers with speed, start, heart, or whatever. So
yeah, it's for winning the Derby, finish greater than stamina. All right, should we do a breed?
Let's make them bone, bro.
All right.
Yeah, we should cut that as a soundbite.
It's hot. All right.
I kind of want that for the soundboard now.
Minus 110 is good to go. Yeah, no, this has been a good episode. All right, so let's quickly, because there is another week to breeding. We did want to highlight some horses that we have in the stable. And again, if sportsgamblingpodcast.com/PFL, get in the game. Whether it's the breeding, we haven't really done a ton of betting talk, but we'll get to that later in the season. Whether it's racing, claimers, a million ways.
And we're gonna have another free roll coming up for SGPN.
Another free roll coming up, and the easiest way to get into Turf Club is right now. Like I said, there are no rules. You breed with us, you buy a horse from us, you sign up using our code. You're in the Turf Club, and what is coming next, we don't know, but it's coming, and it's going to include free rolls. It's going to include.
It's coming in the Bordello barn, if you know what I mean.
Well, our horses have been coming for the past week, but these perks will be coming. So yeah, again, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/PFL. Get involved. All right, so we got a couple more studs to highlight because, like I said, if you stud with our guys, it's the easiest path into Turf Club right now.
Yep.
First
or,
one up,
you know, the easiest path is actually buying one of these cheap ones we've listed in our market.
Maybe.
That's
and yeah, it's on you. If you do one of these things, hit us up. We'll send you a link to our.
Take a screenshot and send it to us, and we'll get you set up.
We'll figure it out. We got a Discord also over in the SGPN Discord if you're interested.
Dallas Sucks, one of the cooler looking horses we've ever had from just a cosmetic aesthetic. That's a good name for a horse, actually. But he just looks incredible with the spots, and the white mane. Dude, he looks badass.
It looks good running. It stands out. It's got the cow, like you said, the cow colors, very cool.
But most importantly, this guy was just an amazing sprinter for us. Just incredible.
38 out of 73 podiums, 26 wins. Again, an S
great stars. Yeah. So if you have lower end stuff in the A's that you're looking to get up into the S territory, or just get an A to compete at an A+ level or whatever, this is going to be good, especially with the current meta right now. I have a feeling he can produce a lot of good whatchamacallits, allowance racers.
We'll see. I mean, I think there's potential. We haven't done a ton with him, honestly, compared to what.
No, we haven't. But we do have a really good one. We do have a very good one of his running right now, it looks like, with Air Coryell.
Yeah, and you can see maybe a later aging curve in this blood, but it certainly didn't stop the winning. And then you look at the distances. I mean, you can see it's a sprinter, but it's almost more middle. And could we have maybe run this different and
we tried a little? Probably ran him at 8-9, maybe. But I mean, dude, he kept winning at the other spots. So
yeah, it was one of those horses that it would win. It would win in it was one of those horses. It's when the turn came and it started to go, it was just going to take care of business. And you see
Drums Booger Sugar asking, what is this? This is the future. Okay.
Yeah, what's up, Jerome? This is Digital Horse Racing. I'm a digital horseman, and we're taking you through our journey in the photo finish live game. And so right now we're looking at one of our beautiful studs, Dallas Sucks. You can tell we named it. And like we were going to say, that the reveal wasn't overly great, where we're like, dang, but
I think this says a lot to the importance of the preference stars here, where I think a lot of his success was driven off the extreme preference
and temper, having S temper as an S- horse.
He had that consistency and the extreme preference, and it really allowed him to overcome, a lot of, fields in all these races.
I mean, yeah, it's $1,000 on the track profit for this horse. Even the fleet figure, not overly impressive. We did run it for a while. That was part of that. Probably deteriorated the fleet figure.
Yeah, we probably could have retired him over 75 or whatever, but man, I don't know, getting him to 26 wins was pretty cool.
So this is one. I mean, we're going to be doing some breeds with Dallas Sucks, I'd imagine, but we won't be doing them all. Hop in, it's at the minimum. And then stud number 2, this is another claimer of ours.
Another claimer. I put these on the list pretty much too, because it's dude, I want to highlight the value you can find in the claimer market. Dude, we found this for $5, dude. Fucking made like $400 off him racing. And now we got him in the stud barn where he's got this extreme outlier stamina and finish combo that's going to be awesome to inject into these other bloodlines. And yeah, he's got a low speed roll, but speed's something we find pretty common, out there,
And you see how much it doesn't matter. This is a horse that was consistently putting down high 70s, low 80s at distance. And so, yeah, some of that is obviously the stamina finish combo here is elite.
Yeah.
But that's the thing we've learned, right? There's certain pockets of, like, whether it's finish and heart, whether it's finish and stamina, whether it's finish, heart, and speed, there's certain combinations that just put your horse in a position to do better. And it's like the right ingredients,
This is an exciting horse to breed. Shout out to Lacey for putting them in the claimer for us.
Yeah, seriously.
But like, I feel like you can find like S- and A+ horses that have S speed to breed this horse with. And now you could potentially really breed something special at the lower level, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to be using this one a bunch.
For sure. I ran like 12, 15 reports with him last night, dude.
Yeah. And again, shout out to the exec club. It is worth. How many breed reports do we get a season?
We get 100 per season.
Yeah. We try to use them all. It's very fun.
Yeah.
All right. Last one.
It's fun when you get down to the last dozen too, because it's like, do we just do the weirdest shit possible, or do we try and like really calculate something?
Last one to highlight in the SGPN stables.
My dog,
the stud barn, the meat market. It's Bowser's Castle.
Yeah,
arguably one of our better winners. I mean, we haven't had too many horses with over 30% win rates. 11 wins, 6 shows, and 4 places.
Well, and he would have had a much better career. His area, there wasn't a lot of spots to run in left turf at the time he was running too. So I mean, I feel like he could have had a much different career right now. But he's got that extreme stamina. That's what we're talking about here, where he was able to just like put it on down the stretch. Here's the thing I think is interesting about him and why I included him on here. Because if you just want to get involved in this game to like go for hardcore races, buy a breed with him. If you join the turf club, you're in the turf club now, you get the rebates. Dude, it's a super cheap breed on your end, and it gives you a chance to potentially throw him in whatever horse you get out of it into a hardcore race. And if it's a hardcore race at distance at a weird allowance or lower level, it's got a legit shot to take down this big lotto ticket jackpot.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, the hardcore structure is essentially you get to, and I'll pull up the purse right now, but it's a winner take all format where. Yeah.
So, dude, it's
oops, bringing up the backs.
It's like that's 725, 700 and something bucks right now.
Yeah, so it's almost
800,
700 maybe. And basically this is what Scott's talking about. You have all these opportunities for these and let's see, this race is happening right now actually. So it's a winner take all race with these 4. The winner of the race will then essentially do some sort of random number generator coin flip type
but yeah, if you look at like one of these ones right here, like where he would be like on the low end of, like that one, the senior knockout quarter quest.
And again, if you're new to the game, essentially these races are balanced so that all grades can compete. And so an A horse loses 2 pounds, but a B horse loses 8 pounds. And so to Bowser's comment, there's definitely opportunity to compete at the lower level.
If you look at that senior knockout quarter quest, a Bowser's Castle, like A- offspring, right below that one. Yeah, there you go. So like
even better. Yeah. So
the weight restrictions, if you get an AA- out of that, you might have that stamina that's even higher than the ones at the top of the top of the bracket here, but you got that -8, -10 pound advantage that you're running with.
Yeah, honestly, my advice would be look for something like this, and hopefully you've bred like a B+ A- range.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Shout out to Bowser's Castle, one of our.
Dude, and he's produced some grandkids now, even that for us that have carried on to like this SS minus level stamina. That just he's got this outlier stamina in him that goes up. I feel like, yeah, like Red Velvet Comic there. I mean,
yeah, certainly an Yinzer Princess. Great name, Bowser. Certainly a good concoction of blood.
well, Cigar Store Indian too produced a crazy outlier for us where we bred him. Go back to last episode, but yeah, he bred him with that foal with Tawny Katane, who's another A minus, and they produced an A plus. So I mean,
wow,
there's some outlier blood in this and that bloodline, and so like I love to find ways to get him involved in stuff.
Sweet. All right. So again, shout out to Bowser's Castle. Bowser's Castle, Dallas Sucks, Ecliptic Flame, Fiesta Rancho, Lock Dog Tees, Planet Silver Lake, Black Jam, Native Monk, Samurai. We got them all. They're all listed. Hit Bowser up if you want some help. But yeah, there are.
Yeah, and
again,
we got like mares that we're kind of not using this season. So if you want in, like we can send you the loaner, and then we'll give you the rebate back on using our stud there. So yeah,
just hit Bowser up. We'll make it easy to get
or hit Kramer up.
No.
I'm not the best with I'll be honest. I'm not the best with DMs, so I might take a couple days to get back.
Yeah, me too. But hit us up anyway. Yeah. Again, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/PFL. Get involved. Use the code SGPN. And let's just. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I mean,
we talking about the horse giveaway.
The giveaway, I think, is what we got, right?
Yeah. So as we showed early in the show, and we pull the horse up, we got full of one time at band camp. Again, thanks to Third Time for throwing this in the kitty for us to give away. So here's how you're going to get a chance to win this horse. This horse does not have a name. You've seen some of the amazing names that we've come up with from what we've shown you, and just in general, you watch horse racing, you know how great the horse names can be. Comment on this YouTube video. So if you're listening to the audio version,
Orange Chicken, my personal cell phone number is 1-800-PICK-DUNDEE.
Oh wow, okay. So full of one time at Bandcamp is available to win. The way that you're going to enter is you're going to comment on the YouTube video. If you're listening to the audio, yes, we are on Spotify and Apple and all that stuff. You're going to head over to the YouTube channel. We're on the Sports Gambling Podcast YouTube channel. I'll leave links in the description of everything. You're going to comment on the video with the name, what you will name this horse if you win this horse.
Yeah.
The best name we will announce on next week's show is going to win this horse. I hope it's someone that's not in the game yet. I hope it's a new player. We can get them loaded up in time to start racing this gem.
And they'll have this awesome stud to start getting built around.
If you want to know the criteria to win, you got to make me and Bowser either go, that's a good name, or laugh really hard. So again, comment on the YouTube video with the name that you would name full of one time at band camp out of Boss Stables. And again, the best comment, we will announce it on the show next week. And while you're commenting, you should smash the subscribe button. Maybe go follow us on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast.
And the team at Third Time here put this bloodline together themselves from Boss Stable. So this is a fun little thing that this is a fun piece to have in your stable for sure, especially if you're getting one started.
Yeah, it's also a great way to start a stable and have an S plus. I mean, Bowser and I, it was a long time before we got our first S plus. I think our first S plus we purchased for, was it 12,000 or 120,000? Might have been 100,000, maybe 80,000,
something like that, like 105, 110. Yeah,
it was a 4-figure USD purchase of a horse, and so now it seems like there's a lot more of them, but definitely a great way to start your stable. So comment on the video. What would you name this horse? We will pick the best one on the show next week.
And I love this because it's got, like, we talk about that level up, man. Look how many S minuses are on the mom side, but it's still produced up to the S plus level. That's a good forward trajectory that we're looking for here.
Some pop here. There could be some pop.
Yep.
All right. So what do we have next week? We'll be giving this horse away. We will be potentially, I mean, I can tell this. I can tell you this. We will, at minimum, be talking about promoting a free roll and a hell of a lot of juice pots for Derby Week, for the Derby Week show. What I can also tell you is that we will have a good time reading your comments, judging your names of these horses. Again, hit us up with anything you want us to look at.
I think we're gonna have another giveaway too next week, are we not?
Maybe. I'd say the likelihood we have a giveaway is strong. I'd say the likelihood we're talking about a free roll is strong. I'd say the likelihood we're talking about some special juiced betting pots is strong. And yeah, so tune in next week. We're going to be, again, Fridays is the plan for now, although we may be going live for the Derby in a couple weeks. And yeah, lots on deck. Hit us up. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about. Let us know. We'll take a look at your stable. I mean, we have a ton of ideas for future stuff. Some of that involves us looking at community members, horses, stables, breed pairs, whatever you want us to take a look at. And yeah, I think that's it, Bowser.
Oh, yeah, we're already starting to get some entries in here. I like these. So yeah, keep them coming, guys.
Yeah, comment on the video, please. I may or may not be able to look at this live chat after the fact. Comment on the video on YouTube. Please, please, please comment, subscribe. Give us a follow. Bowser is, what are you, Scott.Bowser on, or Bowser
_Bowser?
There you go. Scott_Bowser on X. I'm Kramer Centric. We are SGPN Stables. If you're a horse person and you want to check out some gambling content, check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. We daily, mostly talking about football, but we're talking about whatever you can bet on, really. So if you don't have anything else to add, Bowser.
I don't.
All right.
I think we accomplished our goals this week. I'm very proud of us.
Good show. Somehow we still went over an hour. That was impressive. Thank you to Bryce and the team over at Third Time for all the support. Definitely been helpful in this process.
It's been amazing. And yeah, they're seeing to it that we're gonna have a lot of cool stuff coming up for you guys. So hit
us up if you breed with us, if you buy a horse, if you sign up with code SGPN, hit us up in any of these methods on X, on comment on YouTube, whatever, so we can get you going, get you on the official Turf Club membership list. Again, thank you to Stens last week who gave us.
I feel like we all need Turf Club sport coats with the crested patch on it. Like
that could be in the future of the Turf Club. Again, we don't talk about the Turf Club publicly. We only talk about it privately in our secret meetings underground. Once again, thank you to Stens for the horse last week. That will be a segment on the show. We will be following that horse through its life once it hits the track. And yeah, look forward to we got another week of breeding. We got remember to enter your week 2 free rolls. We got big things coming up, Derby coming up, and yeah, we're 2 weeks away from another Foals Day. So the game keeps on grinding. We keep on grinding, and I still haven't figured out a way to end this show. So for now, I'll just say thank you for tuning in to Run for the Roses, episode 2. For Scott Bowser, I'm Ryan, real digital horseman Kramer. I'm still going with Let It Ride.